Klein's journey started with a ritual and a diary, but by the end of Volume 4, he's something else entirely. He's a demigod. He is a saint. But unlike the arrogant ascents we see in fantasy, his is lonely, it's reluctant, and earned. What strikes me most is how small Klein still feels. Even with divine insight, even with the power of the grey fog, he's always looking over his shoulder, always negotiating with forces far stronger than himself. And that's what makes this end feel so human, even though Klein isn't. Volume 4, Undying. When I first read the title of Volume 4, I was excited, but also confused, because as I learn the names of the next volume, I'm always trying to figure out what the meaning of the volume is before it's given to us at the end of the volume. Volume 1, Clown, Klein trying to hide his pain under a smile for the world. Volume 2, Faceless, Klein losing what little identity he had left, having to forego the identity of Klein Moretti to truly become faceless. And Volume 3, Traveler, the most obvious of the titles. Klein having to travel across the world, keeping himself from setting roots, and being free to travel and leave everything at a moment's notice. But Undying was confusing, because even after I finished the volume, I couldn't understand what Undying was referring to, until someone told me. Undying doesn't have a meaning. It has 5 meanings. Okay, future me here, I apologize, but I can't count. It's actually 6 meanings, not 5. I just can't count, so back to the video. Thanks, guys. Undying, Azek's blessing, or his curse. Realizing that all the pain that Azek is suffering through for his family, those he left behind, those he has forgotten, he himself is undergoing all this pain because of his family, his father, Death, putting this curse on his own son. Undying, Evernight taking the authority of Death. Undying, Klein's resurrection in the eyes of the world. Undying, Dunn Smith, a long lost soul. Undying, Daily, a body puppeteered by fate. Undying, Ince Zongwil, a failed undying, cursed in the end to die. In many ways, Volume 4 seems like the first proper conclusion we've had in Lord of the Mysteries so far. The true conclusion to a part of Klein's story. Finally, after 900 long chapters, Ince Zongwil getting what he deserves. Klein and Leonard getting closure for their losses so long ago. Daily getting some kind of conclusion for her romance and her love with Dunn. Being told at her deathbed that the person she loved her back too. Getting to enjoy, in some sense at least, their first and last dance. Leonard, who has been running parallel to Klein for so long, finally getting to meet his friend one more time. In my mind, those 3 storylines were given a fitting end. However, the story simply didn't let Klein just get that without introducing equally big, maybe even bigger storylines in the volume. The entrance of Amon's avatar into Backlund, the entrance and sheer overwhelming fear and audacity of Adam. And lastly, the cocoons. The goddamn cocoons. Where did these come from? But first, let's talk about Ince Zongwil, dying like a dog in the street. Not to Gehrman, not to Sherlock, but to plain old Klein Moretti, who he believed he had disposed of so long ago, being told that he died for his actions months ago. Not even given the courtesy of final words. No long drawn-out speeches, no villainous monologue, a single shot to the head, execution style, because you are not the final villain of the story in Zongwil. The same way Klein was unworthy of getting any words from you in Volume 1, Ince is worthy of nothing from Klein in Volume 4, a mere footnote in the ever-growing accomplishments of Klein Moretti. And Cuttlefish made this so clever. In chapter 210 back in Volume 1, titled The Story, we get the reveal of Ince's plan and strategy. And in chapter 945, 735 chapters later, titled The Story's End, do we get Ince's death, because you may have started the story, Ince, but Klein was the one who finished it. A perfect bookend, because in chapter 210, Klein dies to make Ince a demigod, and in chapter 945, Ince dies to make Klein one. Klein, after doing that, appearing in front of Daly, telling her that while she felt unworthy of the captain, he felt unworthy of her. That love, well, felt in our hearts, if not expressed, becomes less of a gift and more of a curse, suffocating you from the inside. Klein transforming into Dunn to give Daly a final, happy send-off, instead of a vengeful, hatred-filled ending, showing that despite how cold and unfeeling Klein may appear to the antagonists, he is anything but, because he still views human lives and their pursuits in the highest regard. And Adam, my God, Adam. Adam's reveal left me shaking in my boots. The concept of psychological invisibility was explained when Audrey became a hypnotist in this same volume, and I thought it was a really cool power, but having it pushed to 11, where a sequence 5, the strongest hunter of the Fog Sea, was completely unable to see Adam, tailing him for weeks. Hell, not tailing him, Adam sat beside him. That is the most insane thing I have ever read. Adam, allowing Klein to fully digest his Sequence 5 potion as a thank you for Sealed Artifact 008, feels like the most crazy thing ever to me, because I was so excited for Klein to become a demigod. I thought, after Klein became one, his worries would shrink, because now the effects others could have on him was minimal. He was now a demigod. But for Adam, a Sequence 4, a mere saint, was a minor gift he gave, because a Sequence 4 and their abilities are so completely inconsequential to someone like Adam. He views a saint in the same way we see an ant on the ground, of absolutely no consequence. Adam fighting the Angel of Fate, Ouroboros, and coming back and saying, "The snake has escaped," as if he was disappointed he was unable to subdue him. That is a king of angels, and to Adam it served as a mere time waster. What a joke. And the cocoons. My God, the cocoons. I thought after all this work, Klein finally becoming a demigod was going to get an answer at the top of the Grey Fog. But no, he gets no answers. He gets nothing but hopelessness. He gets the sheer realization that he and Roselle are not unique. They aren't the only transmigrators. There's another transmigrator, either one that came before them both, or that one that came after Klein. Either way, who made these cocoons? Who brought these people from Earth to this world? Why? How? And most gut-wrenchingly, Klein realizes he has likely spent a long, long time in that cocoon, because he and Roselle were brought from Earth in roughly the same time, but were placed on this world 150 years apart. Who knows what the time delay between this world and Earth even looks like? Even if he somehow managed to make it back to Earth, all chances are everyone he has ever known is long dead, making all that Klein did up to this point to get back home, to get back to his family, worthless. Even in what should have been Klein's greatest victory to date, he is not given the opportunity to feel happy. He has come to a soul-crushing realization. Volume 4 is the perfect middle point for the story, because it wraps up so many important plot lines from the very beginning of the story and opens new threads to begin weaving an even bigger, grander narrative. I can't wait to see what happens with Amon, what the hell Adam is up to, how strong Klein is gonna become, and figure out who and why is bringing transmigrators into this world, and who the hell that third transmigrator is. I already have a theory. I think it's the Evernight Goddess, but hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. On a much more serious note, I've been streaming my entire read-through of Lord of the Mysteries on the channel, so if you're interested, the VODs of all the lives are available on the channel, all the way from chapter about 50 to I think we're about 970 or so right about now. And as always, a special thank you to all of my members. Making these videos takes an incredibly long amount of time, not even including the 3 weeks or so it took me to read the damn volume. So I appreciate all of you guys so much. If you guys are able to donate, I would really appreciate it. But if you can't, I totally get it. Just you watching the videos is plenty for me. As always, if you've read Lord of the Mysteries, let me know how you like the ending of Volume 4 and comment below your favorite moment from Volume 4. Let me know if there's anything you want me to cover next from Lord of the Mysteries. And as always, stay mysterious.